had is a lot of wind now. Before you say, well, there we go, everything's getting worse. No, we've had actually stronger typhoons before, but I thought you'd be interested in that. Not much could stand up to 170 knots, that's for sure. Okay.
Well, excuse me. Your interest is meant to be weather at the moment.
What?
All right, but that was very timely. Thank you, Cliff, for telling me that the streaming had crashed. And also that in Suva there was heavy rain all night, so everyone's going to be pretty excited with the Fiji, that's for sure. On to Australia now, and boy, they've still got the same Prime Minister that they've had for, 3 weeks now. That's pretty good. Anyway, he wants to have a new Australia Day. Evidently, the one you've got now in January the 26th is sort of being called Invasion Day because it commemorates the arrival of the first White Fleet at Sydney Cove, and it's upsetting the indigenous Australians who were there for 60,000 years before it. So anyway, they're talking about having another day. They've already got a I'm Sorry Day, evidently, on May 26th. But anyway, you know how people get very sensitive these days, so they're talking about having yet another holiday. Well, that's all good. What else? Bill Cosby has been jailed. First one of these ones that have been charged on sexual assaults. He's been jailed. I won't even bother trying to keep you up to date with Kavanaugh, the new Supreme Court one that's just going berserk at the moment with people coming forward. America's Cup Village here in Auckland has been cleared and approved by the Environmental Court. It actually did require that because there's all sorts of things. There's big a tank farm that's going to go at the Wynyard Wharf for those that know the area. $212 million it will be. They're starting already on the New Zealand and Italian areas. They get the preferential treatment. And then as the tank farm goes, the rest of it will be done. So that's really going to improve the whole downtown Auckland harbour to land type sort of area because it will sort of move the whole situation together. It will be quite pleasant once it's all finished. And wherever the cup goes, they're welcome to it. But this will be quite a pleasant walk along the shore once it's all done. That's about all I've got. And is there anybody with anything before we go on to the weather from David? We will be covering, I've had a couple of emails on proposed passages next week, getting from Fiji to Newcastle and stuff like that. So we will be covering that, and thanks for the heads up. Anybody with anything? It seems their propagation is quite good today. Well, I certainly got good hearing from Willamette, but mind you, they always have a pretty good signal, so it's not really a good test, I don't suppose, but hopefully we're being heard from one side to another, and we've still got those boats heading from the east. Amazing. 2C2, for those that want news of 2C2, they're in Wahine. I think they were going to Bora Bora today. So still boats left in French Polynesia enjoying it as long as they possibly can. And the rest of you are spread from there. We've got boats actually on their way to New Zealand, as you probably know, and also boats, a couple of boats anyway, heading to Australia. Kindred Spirit heading to Australia. Quite an interesting report from others that are around the world. Blowing Bubbles is up there in Indonesia. There was even a report from Merseyrail. For those that know Merseyrail, they're heading to Africa, believe it or not. So they're in Madagascar at the moment. So yeah, quite a lot of interesting stuff on the YIT site. So it's good to see boats that are all progressing around the place. All right, back to David to start the weather.
Alrighty, good morning. And I think we're going to take a look at the jet stream this morning as the 500 millibar trough and ridges are more or less like yesterday. They've moved just a little bit east, but otherwise they have pretty much the same orientation. The jet's very strong, running west to east, of course, between 25 and 30 south. And there is a jet streak that's just to the north of New Zealand, and the air is moving 150 to 180 knots. So quite a bit of strength in that jet stream, and that, of course, is going to have its effect. Now, the equatorward entrance for jet stream is the area of surface upflow, sort of like the little vacuum cleaner trick that we talk about often up in the upper atmosphere. It tends to pull the surface air up. And it's doing its job. It's supporting an active trough. Cloud bands are quite evident on satellite imagery this morning. Individual clusters are moving northwest to southeast, more or less in that direction, give or take on that. The overall speed of the jet is also encouraging quite a bit of venting, very similar to a tall chimney that you have in your fireplace. The taller it is and the more wind that you have, the more draft that you get. And that keeps that fire going. And in our case, it keeps the surface troughs and fronts going as well. Now, the Southern Ocean is quite nasty. It's got multiple depressions. They're running west to east rather smartly. One of these depressions has a central pressure of 968 millibar. That's pretty nasty, folks. You would not want to be a fisherman down there, or anybody down there. Seas are running 7 to 8 meters south of 40 South. And we've got 4 meter seas that are reaching almost up to 25 South. That's the reason I mentioned this whole thing, as the size of the waves that it's pushing north. And these are coming mostly out of the southwest. Now, indications are, I would say 3-5, as that high swell area is going to be the north of you. It'll be north. Expect 3 meter seas between 30 and 25 South arrival date. Winds north to north-northwest, up and down 175 east and south of 30. On or around Tuesday morning, the front looks to reach North Cape, Opua area, that sort of thing. So expect a wind shift out of the southwest after the axis of the frontal band passes, and that may happen around dinner time Tuesday. However, it's possible that the high to the east, that's a 1031 high, it will be a 1031 at that point in time, that may very well hold that frontal band at bay and allow for an extra day or so, if you will, for some of the laggard yachts to get into the Opua or Marsden area. So that's quite possible that will happen. We'll see. Now, the 6 a.m. Satellite loop, the early loop, shows Tonga with its trough just nudging Tongatapu with the bulk of the trough itself to the south. On Thursday, that trough extends to the northwest to just south of Fiji. Actually, by then it's probably going to be on top of Fiji, but the center continues and it actually punches right into Vanuatu and then goes on to the Solomons. Now, up there, I think we talked about quite a bit of convective activity yesterday around the Solomons, but there is a tropical disturbance up there that's affecting that whole general area of the middle to eastern Solomons. Now, moving over to Tonga, the reports from there, Babao, this morning, that's about 6 a.m., calm, scattered cloud, barometer 1013. The Hapais reported east-southeast 5 to 10, scattered cloud, barometer 1014. And Tongatapu, southeast 10 knots, scattered to broken cloud, the barometer 1015. Now, the winds by lunch today should be southeast in the 15 knot range, I think, and picking up a little bit this afternoon. Now, tomorrow they'll back even more. Easterlies about 15 knots, but Friday the winds look like they're going to pick up to 20 knots or so, and that'll be east-southeast, give or take on that direction. And over to Fiji now, where the trough that's to the south may see it drifting north over the group, and it already has gotten into the southern Lao, and we just updated the loop, and I can see more of southern Fiji starting to get cloud. the bulk of it still to the south there. So anyhow, later today expect scattered showers in and about the group, and a chance of thunderstorms will continue as they were yesterday, actually, according to one or two reports. Now, Friday, no, I'm backing up. We'll talk about Fiji Met. They have a strong wind warning that they have issued for southwest Viti Levu, Vatui Ra, and Pindavu passages. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots. And I did get a satellite pass, the microwave pass, in that area. And yes, there are winds in that area, so not very pleasant for those passes. The areas near there expect southeast 15 to 20. Mostly 15 to 20 elsewhere, easterly 15 to 20. Now, tomorrow, easterlies are going to clash with northeasterlies that are going to be in the upper part of the Fiji area. So there is your directional convergence, and that's contributing to the trough that should be rolling up into the area. Now, trough conditions for Vanuatu and windy as well. Southeast winds 20 to 25 knots. The higher winds up in the northern areas, and about the same thing tomorrow from Malakula southward. But light east to east-northeast north of Santo. There's a change. In fact, that includes the banks. More wind, however, on Friday for the group. It's going to probably get up to 20 to 25 knots, and it gets pretty nasty throughout Vanuatu with those winds. That's mainly because of the seamounts that come up fairly close to the surface. A lot of current in that area, and you get a high, short chop. It's really, we hated it when it was like that. You just really couldn't go anywhere without getting beat up. Anyhow, the tropical disturbance that I talked about a few minutes ago looks like it's going to increase to a very light tropical cyclone just to the south of the Solomons. Winds estimated to be 45 knots. So they're all cyclonic, so they're going to be all over the map. And it looks to stay nearly stationary by Saturday, and then possibly drifting to the Louisiades. So that's good news for anybody in Newcal or Vanuatu. It does not look at this point like it's going to head in that direction. But, well, that's about the first one of the season now, this tropical disturbance / tropical cyclone. So I think we could expect to see this happening a little bit more frequently as the season starts to wind down. And before I forget, over to Newcal, where we see some cloud from the trough lying over the loyalties, and that is the trough mainly over Vanuatu, but that encompasses the loyalties as well. But some of that cloud is getting over to parts of New Caledonia, not so much in the southern lagoon, but there are some areas of Newcal that are seeing this. Winds today in our area, southeast around 10 knots. Should be a really good day today for snorkeling. But watch out for Thursday. They may pick up to about 20 knots, and virtually the same thing for Friday. So that usually starts to churn the sand up a little bit. But anyhow, that's your outlook. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free, come now. And here's the chief.
Well, that was short and sweet. So, given that what I'm looking at on the screen here doesn't look very exciting, we're not between Newcal, which looks lovely, and the top of Fiji, and that looks a bit blue. You wouldn't want to be in the Solomons at the moment, that's for sure. I don't think we've got anybody listening in the Solomons now that Field Trip has moved on. Field Trip, where are the Field Trip at the moment? For those that know Field Trip, they really are having a fantastic trip. It's a shame. Well, I wonder if they've bought another drone, because their drones unfortunately have bit the dust, or bit the water actually. They currently are at 3 degrees south and 111 degrees east. So that's a long way west of us, isn't it? They certainly won't be listening. All right, anybody with anything? Good morning, Graham and Lynn, Toranui.
Good morning, David. Northern end of
Yeah, I can see why that is, unfortunately, Graham. They'll really need those water bakers. Hope Harry on Malure and Jonathan on the Sea Mercy group are all trying to get organised there. But, yep, pity about that. You'll just have to, I don't know what you're going to have to do. You'll have to just take a duster to the boat, over.
Rain Friday.
Oh, David has just said, and you heard it here first, rain on Friday. What sort of percentage chance have they got of rain on Friday?
There is a chance on Friday. So I want to give you something to look forward to. So look up. It's not Superman. It could be a cloud. Could be some rain in it. Friday, maybe late Friday, but in there. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Well, we'll hold them to it. Probably have to have a penalty situation if it doesn't arise. All right. Oh, well, at least you've got beautiful weather. I tell you what, to be honest, well, no, I think no water is a bit of a problem if you're living there, isn't it? I was going to say, we're so sick of water here that wouldn't mind a bit of drought for a while, but yeah, it is a bit of a problem. You can't get the tanker to come and fill up in the Yassawas like you can here. All right, is there anybody else? No, I don't hear anything. Any relays from anyone? I'm just checking anything. Muscat Cove, they say 10 to 12 southeast, 10% cloud cover, 28 degrees. Oh, thank you, Margie. They really rub it in, don't they? Actually, the weather hasn't been all that good on the eastern coast of Australia either, but it's vastly improving, and it certainly looks nice sailing conditions for Kindred Spirit on their way to Bundaberg there. There's no troughing system there en route. All right, that's about it from us. We've actually got sunshine at the moment, so I think it is actually going to improve today, but we'll wait and see. We'll be back again tomorrow, of course, so enjoy your day wherever you are, and the frequency is now all yours. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, we're going to like to get a bit more cloud when the wind comes up, or it's a bit cloudy, a bit windy. You might get in and go for a walk up to the lighthouse, otherwise we'll stay here.
No, it's nice down there.
No, I think it's going to be okay. When are you doing the lighthouse walk? Over?
We'll stay where we are.